Perfect. Welcome everyone to our live session with Jerome, who is CEO of Mozrest. And we'll be discussing how to connect with your guests on their platforms of choice, and also discussing Mozrest. What is Mozrest? And we'll find out. So welcome. And just to tell you a little bit about Restaurant Collective, to start off with. Restaurant Collective is here to champion, support, and connect the independent hospitality sector in the UK. And we think it's very important to champion independent hospitality because they are the fabric of our community. They are what makes, London in particular, because London is the one I know particularly well, just a special place. And we think that it's been tough on hospitality lately. And so we're here to help by creating incredible deals, usually reserved for big chains, which we call economies of scale. We have a community hub where we can have peer-to-peer communication about the latest hospitality topics and the latest issues. We have COVID updates for hospitality, which, it's always good to remain compliant, and the laws change so often. So we kind of go through, digest everything, and make sure that you're on top of everything that you need. And we're growing. So we are member-led. So we listen to our members and see what they need to survive and thrive as well. And we would love more members to join us. The more members we have, the better deals we can get. So economies of scale, buying power. So join us. I'll put in the link to the website in the chat later on in our talk. And today we've got, as we said earlier, Jerome Pernolet. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that.
Perfect.
Oh, merci.
You're fluent.
And thank you. Who's the CEO of Mozres. And I was wondering if you could give us a bit of background about yourself.
So I make long story short because my background is kind of already long. So let's say the last two experiences I had was to enable online reservation. So I came from the e-commerce world with selling tires and fitting services, and we literally enable online reservation for garages for them to get reservation from consumer wanted to get their tires fitted. Then, because our business has been acquired by Michelin Group, and then Michelin Group acquired Bookatable, they offered me the role of Chief Commercial Officer, and then I moved to the garages to restaurants, which is a lot more excited, to be honest. So again, online reservation, but with restaurants that time. So I learned a lot there, and I agree with you. There's a lot to be done. We are at the very early stage of the digitalization of restaurants, but what is key is to simplify everything for restaurants. Today, it's too complex. Systems are not speaking one to another. So it's what we do at Mozrest. And we will go through that. So online reservation is one part of it, but today we are going to focus on content, description, news and post synchronization of multiple platforms, because it's also very, very important.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. And I'd like to highlight the point. We have all this technology around us, but it is quite complicated. And I think that's where platforms like Mozrest are so incredibly useful, because what the key thing people don't have in hospitality is time. And if someone can create or has created something that can help you to kind of break down all your needs, but in a very easy single place, then that is a big game changer for the hospitality industry. Because, as I said, time is the biggest ingredient that we don't have. So we have some questions. I'd love to know why it's important to connect with your customers on the right platforms.
So I'd like to start with a story. And if you could move to the next slide, where we see Janine looking for a coffee shop where she can have coffee as well as Wi-Fi access. So she looks at her mobile, because today more than 60% of searches are done on mobile. And let's say she looks in Google Map, and she looked for a coffee shop open, and then she found something, go there, and it's closed. So she is profoundly unhappy. She tells friends. Obviously, she might tell Google, and we will see what would happen in that case. But wrong experience. And if we move to the next one, which is opposite, and the successful experiences, because all the data that are in Google Maps are updated, then she finds the nearest coffee shop. She can sit. Eventually, she can even invite friends, and she put a very good review of the coffee shop. So it's a complete seamless experience for Janine, and she's happy. The thing is, I said Google Maps because everybody says Google Maps, but it can be her choice, whatever is the platform. And we know there are many platforms. And if you can go to the next one, I just listed some of them. So we know Google Maps, Apple Maps, but there are, of course, social media, Instagram, Facebook, you name them. And we are just before a great transformation with autonomous car, as we are with voice recognition as well. So I just put there in-car navigation. They will become big players in search. And there is as well all the Alexa of this world that will become big players. So again, more and more platforms. And you need to be listed everywhere. So in Google, Bing, Yelp, Apple Maps, Facebook, TripAdvisor, and that's incredibly complex to know all these platforms. And because they want to be the best in class, I don't know if you've been there once. I used to go to these platforms. They are super complete. A lot of things you can do with them, but for somebody who will connect once a month, it's just a hell just to know where to go and update information.
No, absolutely. And also the story you told was very telling, as in something that has nothing to do with the hospitality spot that you're going to can then make a customer write a bad review. So the fact that the information wasn't up to date has incurred a negative review, possibly by Janine, and that's nothing that's your fault. So without even entering the premises, you've got a negative or a lost customer.
Yeah,
which is very frustrating.
It's really incredibly difficult just to be present on the platforms, and then you go for the next step, which is coherence. So you want the same information to be exactly the same in each platforms. And if we go one step forward, then we have just have updated information, which means that you should have, to go once a month in all the platforms to update your information, which would be the right way to do so. But you know that Google is the most search platform, so you update only Google. And what happens is you have two platforms showing information for your restaurants, and they are not the same. One is completely outdated, the other one is updated. So it just completely destroys the trust that the customer is searching for.
Absolutely. And you've heard me tell this story before, but I'll tell it again as it's very relevant. This is during the pandemic, and I used Google Maps, and I had to go to a coffee shop or a bakery to buy some bread. And this is a chain bakery, so they have far more resources than independent hospitality. And on the maps that I was using, it said, this bakery is closed. And I said, being the stubborn person that I am, I said, let me go anyway, because being a regular customer, I had a feeling that it wasn't closed. So I went, and it was open. So I was right. I can be right occasionally. I was right. And I informed them. I told them, you do realize that your opening hours, I think it was 5, it indicated 5 p.m., but they were open until 6 p.m. And they had no idea. And they even mentioned the fact that they didn't understand why they weren't getting customers in the evening, because before the pandemic, they used to get a lot of people after work going to purchase bread. So, I was able to fix it for them. But if you don't know, you're losing customers at a huge rate. And as I said before, this is a non-independent hospitality spot, and they didn't even know. Imagine having to do that as an independent operator and having the time, as you said, to update each individual place or each individual spot that has your information. And also Google, unfortunately, during the pandemic, did a blanket change of times, opening hours. And even now, I've been looking into it. Even now, there are some incorrect times. So I was trying to go yesterday to a florist. I mean, it's not hospitality, but still. I was trying to go yesterday to a florist, and they had completely wrong opening hours. And I went, and it was closed. So, it's a relevant issue, and the last thing you want is your customer to think that you're closed when you are in fact not.
And the other way around as well, that if it says that you're open and you're closed, it's the consumer completely think that it's your fault. You should have updated it. What happened recently because of the pandemic is you're absolutely right. So Google reset everything, and they trust, let's say, the users a lot more, and they are looking for fresh information. So if they have 5 times the information that the restaurant is closed, then they will update the opening hours, but without telling the restaurant. So it's absolutely crazy that you have to go there and check if your information are right. You don't know.
Absolutely, and that's what I do as well. I do. They have something called Google Local Guides, and I think if you're a certain level, then you can change it, and it just changes. But why not get your information from the source? 1, 2, why not inform your source or inform the business that this change will happen? It's a strange system. I do like the local guide system because, they ask you where's the entrance to this spot, or, do they have a ramp? Do they have this? Do they have that? And I think it's nice to get customer insight, but I also think hospitality needs to play a far bigger role with the information that's being shared about them.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. And so I just place one of the little feature that we have at Mozrest is what we do is, so before pandemic, we plan to update Google once a month, so that we make sure that Google is certain that the information is fresh and it's what best surface. But now, after pandemic, we do that once a week. So the data that is in our platform is exactly the same that is in Google, as well as the other platforms, by the way. But if we focus only on this opening hour issue for restaurants, it's what we do. And we make sure that we are more trustful than the consumer saying, no, it was closed.
No, absolutely. And I think trust is the big kind of word here is, I mean, as somebody who uses Google regularly, I'm kind of cross-referencing now, whereas before I wouldn't hardly ever use the website of the actual hospitality location I was going to. I'm now finding myself going to Google, looking at their times, then going to the website or Facebook and cross-referencing. And if I have two that says, okay, it's still open at 7 p.m., then okay, I trust it a little bit more. But yeah, no, trust I think is very important. And I think and I just generally think that hospitality should take back control. And I think this platform will help to do that.
Absolutely. Cool. So maybe we can move ahead and just also give you some. Yeah, you can stay there. It's the same.
Oh, sorry.
So the question was around to connect with the right platform, and yes. I wanted to speak about something that came 5 years ago, but now really is super important for restaurant, is what is called Near Me. So Near Me is a search which is done. So you type in restaurant near me, or it's even a button on the search engine, and then the search engine locates you and is looking for the restaurants which are around. This is for restaurants almost 75% of all the requests. And what is super important, especially for restaurant collective and independent restaurants, is that 80% are unbranded, meaning that whether you are a big chain or you are an independent, you have exactly the same weight or the same chance to be surfaced by Google, especially if you use Mozrest. But let's say that today there's the consumer is not entering a brand. So that
it's an open playing field.
Absolutely.
It's all about proximity as opposed to quality or chain or independent or not independent. That's really interesting.
And just to give you an idea in terms of optimization and usage of this near me search, only or less than 10% are well done today. So 90% of the businesses might even have incoherencies in the address. So I don't say that the address is wrong, but it's not typed in the same way. So we were speaking about trust. If you look at two different websites with two different spelling of the address, then you are unsure that we are speaking on the same place. And same with the name of the restaurant, exactly the same.
No, so, absolutely, yeah.
Super important to have coherence across all the listings where you can be. And we have a very easy tool just to check if a restaurant, so you type in your address, the name of the business and the address, and we checked over 20 to 30 different directories to make sure that the listings surfaced exactly the same information.
And coherence, as you were saying, is incredibly important, because before I was saying if the times are correct on both websites, then okay, that's the time. But as you said, if the address is different on both websites, then you're a bit lost.
Yeah, you're completely lost. But that's so many listings to directories to update. So it's where we want to help restaurants, and where you have big opportunities as independent restaurants. Because by just using, so I just put a screenshot, but I can make you a demo. When you look for restaurants near me, Google use an algorithm to make sure that there's a trade-off between the distance and the coherence of information. So they don't sort the results purely by distance, but they look to make sure that the information that they are delivering is the best.
Okay, so it's not just distance. It is whoever has also had recently updated information and verified information.
So in Google, but also in the other listings, which is crazy.
Wow.
As well as looking at if you answer your reviews, meaning that you are looking after your consumer, and looking after your consumer, meaning it's fresh information. So because the information is fresh, they trust you, so they surface the information to the consumer. Post as well. So everything is important. Of course, the first thing is to have the name, address, opening hours to be coherent, but the rest has a lot of importance as well.
No, absolutely, and that's difficult. Imagine having to do that on multiple websites to not only update your imagery, update your opening hours, update your branding, whichever it is, answering reviews. There's so many review sites now, so answering all those reviews and doing that multiple times when you don't have time is ridiculous. And if you don't do it, you get punished by not showing up top on these results, or maybe not showing up at all.
So you show up, but you are, I think if you are not in the first 3 results, you have only 8% of being found, which is almost nothing.
That's of course. You look at the top 3, isn't it? Or
yes,
the top 4, Wow, that's a mind-blowing percentage. 8% chance. That's very low. Wow. Okay. And so Mozrest helps.
So Mozrest helps by giving you a very simple interface. So we wanted to simplify the user interface so that we don't lose the restaurant user each time he comes. And so we do that for the content, and we do that as well for reviews. So you have all your reviews in one tool. You can answer directly from our tool, and you can as well publish some posts, so whether it's a simple post or an offer or a QA session, why not? A session, an organization to an event. So it's what we do is getting the information, storing it, and refreshing the data of all the listings. So I was saying it was supposed to be once a month, but now to make sure that it is a master of truth, we do that once a week.
So does that mean Mozrest itself is making sure that maybe the information is re-uploaded, even if it's the same? Yeah. So it shows up as fresh information in the algorithm.
Always, yes. Absolutely.
Wow, so that's something that the hospitality operator doesn't even need to worry about. So maybe you don't have an update for this week or this month, because maybe your menu hasn't changed, you're into the summer season, and your hours are, you set them at the beginning, your hours, menu, pictures, everything.
Yeah.
And that's a fantastic tool.
You're already one step ahead.
I'm sorry.
When you have 10 listings and it's already a hell to just type in and register and do everything with these 10 listings, what about updates?
Yeah.
Do you update your information? Do you think about, it's summertime or it's Christmas time? No, you just keep it as it is. You don't touch it because it's okay. But no, you should update it. And it's where you bring even more consumer because they feel engaged when you have content that reflect the season, of course. But nobody does that today because it's too much of a hell to go to the old platform.
Well, especially now with the huge issue within hospitality that we're having here, particularly in the UK, which is staff shortages. And what's been happening recently as well is that hospitality hasn't been able to open at the normal times that they did pre-pandemic and pre-Brexit because they just don't have the staff. So having the capability of changing your listing or changing your hours on multiple sites within minutes is incredibly useful because you just don't have the time. And so a lot of even larger places have had to say, okay, we're working instead of Monday through Saturday, we're working Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday kind of thing. So to offer the flexibility of being able to do that with just a few clicks of a button, I think is incredible and a big game changer.
Definitely right. But I think it's almost time to show the platform because we spoke a lot about it. But
I agree.
Cool.
I will let you share screen then.
So maybe I could just. So I just wanted to show maybe to start very very quickly by this one just to illustrate what I was saying about restaurant near me. This is
thank you.
A very common request, and then you see you have the results, and the ones that are highlighted are not the nearest one, which is strange, but it's retail. And if you go to Google Maps, so this is a standard Google Map, you even have a button here. And when you click, of course, it will show the different. And you see that the first one is not the closest one.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have their own algorithm. Nobody knows what they put there. But we know for sure by by reading and even they communicate what is important, even if they don't give you the secret source. They communicate about what they want to see. So it was just to show you what we are speaking about here. And what is very, very important is that 60% of these requests are on mobile. So on my desktop environment, it's quite easy for me to scroll and choose something different. I can zoom in and say, okay, I love this one. But if you are on a mobile, it has to be straightforward. So if you are not in the three first results, there's no chance you'll surface.
Absolutely. And also they try to impart a lot of information on mobile as well. So you get the map plus the three listings, and you can't scroll. You have to click a button, show more, and then scroll. So they definitely make it a little bit harder.
So let's move now on Mozrest. Okay, so this is our interface. So it's where you can feed in your information. So the name, country. So we are here in Finland, just took Finland. You can define some categories. So the phone. So everything is settled, and we enter here in the opening hours. So you can define that by for a set of days, or you can have day by day. You can have different opening hours within the same day. And what I like also very much is the special opening day. So if you already know how your restaurant will be open in December, you can put it there. So you make sure that it is synchronized everywhere and it's already there. You don't have to think about it in November. It may be too late. People are already looking to book. No, here you can already define the days in advance, which is nice. It makes you don't have to think about it later, or at least it's preset.
Absolutely,
Then
and I like the division in service hours as well, as you were saying, multiple hours within the day, because some hospitality opens at lunch, closes, and then opens at dinner. So that's important as well.
Yeah, I could add. This is early. This is breakfast, early breakfast. But if I would like just to add one more on Monday, it's very easy to do. And let's say 11 to 13, and that's it. So it's very easy to do. So you have the short description, the long description. So this is very important data that you want to be synchronized everywhere. And then you have also rich data. And so you put all your social media links, as well as this is Google attributes. You know that Google, they change their attributes regularly. So this is a dynamic attribute coming directly from Google with all the different attributes that you can set. And they are also updated. So your reservation link, everything is here. Payment, brand, language, and everything you want to be referenced for. So this one is very define features very well, so few features, and the systems also give you some recommendations, some suggestion that could make sense for you to just add. Dine-in is quite super important at the moment because Google removed all the dine-in during pandemic, so it's super important to add, as well as potentially delivery. And let me show you. So here are all the directories with which we are synchronized. So of course, the Google, Bing. So Bing is not very well known or very used, but it's very important to know that the information going through Bing is synchronized over other listings as well. So it's important to be on Bing. So you have Facebook, Instagram, so I can scroll. You have some voice search already with Google and Siri. And what is really key here is that we update the information regularly. And you can see with the white shield if everything is in sync and updated. Everything which is green is fine.
Okay, good. And what would the white shield mean?
The white one means that it has been done once. So it's not something that is completely real time, especially if you look at BMW. We cannot update DVD in the car because they are just written once. So it's why they are not green, just to have a different colors for this one. It has been done, but it's not real time anymore. Good. So this is very basic what we do from, if you look at that, there's not a lot of things to be done. You just to enter maybe one more tool, but this is the last one, your data, and it will be the master for all the other data. So if you want to update the information and the description, then you do that here, and it goes directly in the different listings, which is quite handy. So let's, something I didn't show, because I was trying to go through a kind of an onboarding, but we have a very nice dashboard showing you, so your average ratings, your what we call the visibility index, reviews, feedback activities, impression. So that is something that you can get from the Facebook platform, but it's deep in reports. So we thought it made sense just to surface the most important one.
That's incredible to have that integrated in your dashboard.
Yeah,
it's so quick to see.
Mm. So you can build your own dashboard, but to be honest, I think everything here is is already there. You don't need so much more. And just to say, okay, direct queries is the number of search that this restaurant had on his brand, and it's quite well known. And you see that it's let's say 6,000 on an average number of 28,000. So it's when I said that they are unbranded and there are huge opportunities there, then you have here an illustration of that.
That's incredible. 6,000 on 28,000.
Yeah.
So that's, you want to make sure that those 22,000 have access to the correct information. Yeah.
And that you're the one surfaced.
Yeah, exactly.
So just quickly, the other thing that we do is just to surface the reviews. So those ones come from Google. You can see pictures that have been taken, and you can reuse the pictures on your own website if you want. So you have also Facebook on this one. Yeah. So this one has no TripAdvisor, I guess. So that's, and you can just answer directly here, and yeah, it goes back to Facebook or Google.
Fantastic. I mean, if you start thinking about all the different review sites, you just go a bit crazy. I mean, there's OpenTable, there's TripAdvisor, there's so many. Well, Google, obviously, then all the social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, and what Google, they are crazy. What they say is, it's nice if you answer within an hour. Yes.
So at 3 a.m. when they've written up your thing, make sure you've done it by 4. And
so they look at within 1 hour, within 1 day, 3 days, and even after that, it's too late. So, but look at this one, which is already quite organized. They never answer. And I think it's because it's too complex to go on Google to answer. But if you have one tool that aggregates all the information, it's a lot easier. And you've seen how easy it is.
Yeah, and absolutely.
Even if you say, okay, I want to have a high ranking, a high grade. What you do is you select only the one with 1 or 2 stars, and you concentrate on those ones. because when you answer to the low-end reviews, there's a very high chance that the diner will change the review after all, because they feel they are heard, and that's okay. You know, I also came back from reviews, and that's okay. It cannot be 100% perfect. It would be too expensive to be 100% perfect. But the fact that you acknowledge that you had an issue within the restaurant, whether front of house or back of house, it makes the user feel okay. Yeah, I had a bad experience, but I'm in direct relation with the restaurant, and we have a good discussion.
Absolutely, and it's important also to read those reviews to learn from them. If there is an actual issue, then that's important, and to connect with your customer as well, even if someone isn't particularly happy.
Definitely. And the last part is the publish part. So by clicking here, you can just define news, an offer, question. So this will go to Facebook, Google. So by tapping it once, it goes in the different social media as well. So Google and Facebook are the usual ones, but we are looking to add more and more where we can. It's quite handy.
So, well, yes.
We have one of our customers who is using it very a very efficient way. I'm not sure it is, but it's quite efficient from a user perspective. So it has each day a new menu. So it's fresh the menu of the day. You just take a screenshot, put that here, and it goes across, and that it does the job.
That's fantastic, because so many independent hospitality operators do that. They'll have a seasonal kind of catch of the day, or soup of the day, or menu of the day, as you were saying, and to be able to update that everywhere just with a simple click of your phone is incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's it. I see there's a question, Paul. Is it possible to estimate the benefit traffic? Yes, absolutely. You can do that through the dashboard. If you go here, you can see the, so this is the feedback, but in terms of clicks and impression, you have also information here. So you can see how it was before. And so my recommendation would be to gather 1 week of information before synchronizing. Then you synchronize and you see it's a complete change. It's really, it's completely amazing, the changes. I would say you gain maybe a minimum of 5 to 10 times more impression and more visibility through doing that. Of course, it depends. If you have somebody who did it well before, then it's already fine. But when you start with almost nothing, you used your, obviously you have Google or Facebook, and that's it. Then it's just a complete game changer to use our tool.
Incredible. I'm still impressed by all the kind of insights that you get straight in one place. I think it's very important to have it. We have another question from Paul. How much time on average would a restaurant operator need to spend on the Mozrest platform each week to get the most out of it?
That's an interesting one. I would say it depends what you're looking for. If you are looking for just listings and have a nice profile everywhere, I would say on the platform itself, less than 1 hour a month is okay, because the data, they are just synchronized. So we make sure that what is in Google is coming from us all the time. But when you update it, then it's updated everywhere. And then it goes to what you want to achieve. If you want to be on top of all your reviews, would say it depends on the reviews you get. So, but I'd say it would be great if they would spend let's say less than 15 minutes a day just to check for reviews, to check for and maybe to publish one post a week, just to be on top of everything. So yeah, let's say 2 hours a week sounds good to me.
And obviously, I assume that you might get notified if you do get a review.
Yeah, you receive emails, yes.
So you can respond accordingly, as in,
yeah.
If you didn't get a review that day, I don't need to really respond that day. So when I do get a response, I can go on the platform.
Definitely right. Good.
Fantastic.
So I think it makes 95% of the trick. What we are looking is, of course, to add more and more platforms. So that will go, I would say, for free as we go along. So we don't have already open table. We are in discussion to add them. So that will come with the new versions coming on the way.
Of course. We have another question. Yes, you're already on it.
Yes. So we have 3 different versions. The first version is only for listings. So to make sure that your description, pictures, and everything are homogeneous and always synchronized. The standard price is £49 a month, and we have a special offer. But for £39 a month, you get it, and you get also a review from a professional on your description, which I think is really a super value added. So somebody from our team who was previously a content specialist for restaurant description, digital content, she will review and propose some modification if needs be.
Oh, this is incredible value to get that insight.
I think so, because I know it can cost a hell to have this kind of things done. The second tier that we have is including the review management and the post as well. So it usually costs £59, but we have a special offer for £49 a month in total. So that's only £10 on top of the £39 for listings. So it's I would recommend to have this, to be able to engage your consumer with reviews and with posts within the same platform. It's kind of logic. So you don't have too many digital platforms, only one. And the last one that we are starting to sell is we have, and maybe we can discuss some nice offer for Restaurant Collective. We have some restaurants asking us to use the tool for them, so that we have each week a catch up to know what's new in the restaurant. They send us pictures, what they want to post, and we do that for them. And it's something that we do for £149 a month. So we take care of everything. We answer the reviews, or we escalate if there are issues. But we have this offer as well.
That's incredible. So a curation offer and the offer to kind of assist, which is an incredible
management
deal.
Yeah. A full managed, and what we are happy to do it, but we are also happy to hand over when the restaurant is ready. So we really do that because we were asked, because restaurants, it's again super complex, so they trust us doing it, but we have one example. So it's not in the UK, it's in Spain. They asked us to do it. We started, and with the catch up once a week, then we started to explain them how it works. And then now, after 3 months of usage, we handed over the full system because they are fully confident they can do that by themselves.
So training as well, because
it's a kind of training.
Yeah, and first of all, when you put your listing on there, if it's done by yourselves, then you know that you'll get the optimal kind of information out there and the optimal content. And then training and then handing it over, I think, is incredibly useful and a great offer, especially now that people don't have the time and maybe they already have things written out and they could hand that over. And I think that's an incredible deal and value for money.
Yeah, I think they don't feel confident to be the first one to publish the information on so many listings at once. So of course they trust that we can do that for them. But when they see it's done and it's okay, and then it's easy to pass. And at the end, it's a real success for the restaurants to be able to manage his own information by himself.
Absolutely. And I think the key as well is we're in the hospitality sector. We're not, not everybody is as good on the computer, and there's nothing wrong with that. So first of all, I find your site very user-friendly, but if it's overwhelming at first, then I think that's great that your team is there, and not just, okay, well, here, do it. I think that's incredibly useful.
Good.
Fantastic.
Is there any more questions?
This was okay. I'll just stop our screen share.
Yes, sorry.
No, it's okay. Oh, you've done it. Fantastic. I don't think there's any more questions, and I just wanted to say a huge thank you for joining us today. And a kind message from Paul saying that it was a great presentation. It was incredibly. My background is that my family used to have a restaurant, and something like this would have been incredibly useful. And the amount of times I saw our listing completely wrong, with pictures from other restaurants, with just the incorrect information, ruining that loyalty, that potential loyalty with customers, was a big problem. And the fact that Mozrest kind of resolves that completely is a big game changer. And I look forward to seeing a possible deal on the marketplace for Restaurant Collective. But really, really exciting stuff, and really, as I said again, a game changer for hospitality, because it's so important to have some kind of help for the hospitality sector. We don't have huge teams in the independent sector, so this basically does the job of a massive content team.
Absolutely.
And without the same price.
Because it's all automated and synchronized. So don't say that you. Of course, you need to put the content, you need to update it, but you can focus on updates rather than focusing on putting the information once. And I know one restaurant very well, and they told me, no, I'm doing only Facebook. It's enough. So I told them, no, it's definitely not enough to do only Facebook. It's nice because you have a fantastic community there, but you are missing a lot of others that you can bring later on Facebook to make the, but I don't want to connect, learn a new user interface. And say, okay, give me your content. So I took the content from Facebook, I put it in our platform. They created, the Google My Business profile. And what we just had to do was to connect both. They didn't, of course, have to redo everything. You create the account and then it goes there.
And the key point there is learning new user interfaces and also terminology, because the terminology isn't the same everywhere.
Oh.
Who has the time? Right? It would be too easy. Who has the time to go and do all of that? So no, I think it's an incredible platform, and thank you for creating it.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to showcase it. Thank you very much.
It's been our pleasure, and thank you again for joining us today. We've recorded this session and it will be on our YouTube channel later on in the week, and I'll send you the link when it's done.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Fiona. Thank you, Paul. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Fiona. Ciao.